I've been gone for a while. There really hasn't been too much to update on you thus far. But I have my first reline on Monday. As you can see, my voice has definitely improved since my last video. But I've been getting a lot of messages about the basics, like where did I get my stuff down at, and price, and all that fun stuff. So I figured I'd make a video on that instead. I had my teeth pulled on September 9th at Affordable Dentures here in my hometown. It was actually a really simple process. I went in that Friday morning and had my basic exam, my x-rays, and my molds taken. And luckily enough, I was able to actually get in that same day for the full extraction. I went home, got all the prescriptions that they told me to get, and like antibiotics and anti-anxiety medication, and also the pain meds for afterwards. And they just told me to, the minute I get the antibiotics, go ahead and pop one. And as well as an hour before, go ahead and take the anti-anxiety. Which, in all honesty, I'm really glad I did. Because when I got in there, I was nervous wreck. But, as far as costs goes, since they didn't take insurance, which I didn't have anyways, with the exam, x-rays, molds, and obviously the extractions and dentures themselves, it was about, I want to say it was about a little over $4,800. Some affordable dentures take insurance. This office that I had does not. And had I gone with the basic economy first wearers package, which is basically your bottom of the barrel dentures, it would have only cost me about $43. But I decided, hey, if I'm going to be stuck with these for the rest of my life, it better be a set of teeth I like. But, yeah, I got in there. My appointment was at 1:30. And I got right in. I literally waited in the waiting room for like 5 minutes. It was incredible. I got in the chair. They did one last look to see what they were dealing with. And they brought in the laughing gas, which is incredible, by the way. But they started, and honestly, I didn't feel anything until they got to the really, really bad teeth that were abscessed. Unfortunately, when the tooth is that infected, no amount of Novocaine will be able to suppress that nerve. And there was, I think he said like 4 or 5 teeth that he did nerve blocks on, lidocaine, the whole 9 yards. He even cooked up the laughing gas. And I still felt it all. I was pretty much in La La Land until that point. And apparently they had taken me to go to the bathroom, and I have no recollection of that whatsoever. My dad saw me in the waiting room, and they put sunglasses on me to shield me from any flying teeth or whatever. And also the light. And I guess my dad said I looked like Stevie Wonder coming out. But the entire process itself only took about, I want to say I was out of there by like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So little under 2.5 hours. Normally it takes about an hour to an hour and a half, but since I had some complications with the teeth, the few on the bottom, it took like an extra hour. He was originally gonna call it quits for the day, give me some more high-strength antibiotics, and bring me back next week. But luckily there was another dentist that was available to help, that he was able to help get him out. And last thing I remember was waking up in my bed with the brand new set of teeth. And as far as pain goes, the first day was terrible. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like I had been punched in the face. and ran over by a semi-truck. But the actual day of, I really didn't feel anything. I was still really, really, not there mentally. Very sleepy. And just kind of lounged around. But the next morning, yeah. I was swollen, bloody, and in pain. Like I said, I was cursing myself for a good day. I was so pissed off at myself. I'm like, why in the world did I do this to myself? I am an idiot. But, today's actually day 13 since my surgery. And I feel incredible. My dentures are insanely loose. Thank God I've got an appointment on Monday to get these bad boys, fitted right. It's taking a lot of adhesive to keep these bad boys in. This morning, I put in the same amount that I put in yesterday. I went to go put them in. They fell right back out again. I'm like, oh, great. I'm going to have to put in even more adhesive. So this morning, I did kind of a glue cocktail. I spread it on some powdered adhesive as well as the paste. And, yeah, these suckers are really in there now. It should make removal tonight a little interesting. But that was the only way I could seem to keep them in there and still be able to function and talk without them flopping everywhere. Needless to say, I've never been more excited to see a Monday in my life. But yeah, Monday's the first reline, as well as a checkup, make sure everything is still a-okay. I've noticed a huge change in my gums from day one to now. Day one, they were looking pretty gnarly. They basically looked like my gums, just minus the teeth. Like, they were all so lively and had all their shape and stuff like that. It was kind of creepy, I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't look at myself for the first couple days. When I took them out, I made sure I was not in front of a mirror. Because I was a little alarmed, to say the least. But it didn't last long. Like they said most of the changes happened in the first few days. So by day 3 and 4, everything started to kind of suction up into my face. As far as what they look like now, the uppers, I can still kind of see where the sockets were. The lowers are closing up really, really nice. The backs, he says they're fine, but I think they look funky. But he says that's how everyone's looks. So, he's the one with the PhD. I'm not, I'll take his word on it. But I think they're weird looking. This side right here, since this is the side that had all the issues, the bottom jaw area is still kind of inflamed. But as far as swelling goes, that's the only spot that's still a little tender, to say the least. I mean, I have some other spots on my gums that are sore, but that's just from rubbing at my dentures. I'm hoping come Monday that, we can get a hold on that, because I got quite a few sore spots going on my gums. I've noticed that since I've had to put in so much glue, it's kind of padding it a little bit. But, as far as, taking them in and out, the first couple days, it wasn't, pleasant taking them in and out. But, now that as, the days have gone by, it's actually getting a lot easier. Last night hurt a little bit, because I had to put so much glue in, so I really had to jiggle them out of there. And surprisingly, for the amount of glue that I had to put in there, not much was left. Throughout the course of the day, through saliva and obviously wearing down with the glue. But there was still got a fair amount of glue in there. I had to go into the dentist, I think that was Monday. I had what they call a bone spur, which is very, very common when with full, even just a single tooth extraction. Basically, your tooth is held together by a thin layer of bone. That's what keeps it in. And when it removes, that bone kind of expands. And sometimes, rather than dissolving into itself and closing up the jaw socket, it will pop out like a sliver. And I had one right here where my canines used to be. And it didn't hurt when I didn't have my dentures in. I could tell it was there, and I could feel it with my tongue, and it felt weird. It wasn't sharp or anything, but when I went to go put in my top plate, it didn't hurt then either, but if I smiled too big, or if I talked, it rubbed against it, and it really started to get irritated. I also have a couple really small ones on this side of my jaw. They're not painful by any means, but they're not quite as big as the one I had pulled out of my mouth. I was able to get rid of some of these just by using a cotton ball and some mouthwash and kind of coax it out a little bit. But this one was in there, and it was hurting. So I went in there and I showed him, and he numbed it up real quick and just weaseled it out. I was literally in and out of there in 5 minutes. It was pretty quick. And it bled a little bit, go figure. But it didn't last very long. I think by the time I left the dentist and made it to the couple miles down to the dollar store, it was done. It was a little sore for a couple hours afterwards, as well as half my face being numb. But other than that, it really wasn't that bad. And these couple other ones I have, they don't hurt. I could just feel them with my tongue. I like to play with them. I mean, that's natural human response. You get a filling, your tongue's going to be playing with it. Or you get a tooth removed, your tongue is going to be playing with it. So I've just been rubbing my tongue on it. It feels kind of cool. But I've noticed that they're starting to make their way out. So hopefully in the next couple days I can just kind of just get rid of them and be done with it. Swallowing has gotten a lot easier. I've noticed that even though my speech is getting a lot better, I still have a little bit of a lisp with certain words. The saliva is definitely curbed itself a little bit. I'm still drooling. But not quite as bad as previous videos. And I can actually close my jaw all the way now, so it doesn't look like I'm sitting here like this now. Because that just feels kind of awkward now. Before it felt natural. Just because everything still felt really, really huge in my mouth. But I can actually close my mouth. And everything, it still feels a little bulky, but I'm pretty sure that's just because they don't fit. And they're still my mouth's still getting used to them. Eating, that's still that's still a fiasco. I'm actually able to eat macaroni and cheese and scrambled eggs. Some ramen noodles, a lot of ice cream. Anyone that tells you that taking your teeth out and eating some ice cream is a godsend, they're not lying. It feels incredible. And it's not the fact that my mouth's sore, it's just, I don't know what it is. It just feels awesome. Same with pudding. I've been eating a lot of that. I've finally gotten used to eating oatmeal. To start with, since oatmeal is so thick and sticky, it would get really, really stuck in my top palate. And sometimes get underneath, since they're also loose. But I've gotten used to swallowing the quote-unquote goop, because that's kind of what oatmeal is goop. That it doesn't quite get stuck anymore. Sometimes I'll have to take a quick swig of milk or something just to help it along, but other than that, swallowing is becoming secondhand nature again. As far as brushing goes, it doesn't really hurt anymore to brush my gums every day, except for the couple spots where they're sore from rubbing. But other than that, yeah, they don't really hurt anymore. I can actually like stick my tongue out to like completely to brush my tongue now, and it doesn't hurt to stick it out anymore. For a while, I was only able to stick it out like this far, and it really hurt the muscles that it was attached to. It was pulling on my gums a little bit. But other than that, yeah, I can stick it out and actually brush my entire tongue now without having to shove a toothbrush down my throat. But that's really about it. Updates are kind of slowing down right now until Monday. But I've been getting a lot of comments and questions and messages about cost and the procedure and what did it cost. And oh yes, another question. Yes, these are temporaries. They're not bad. They're actually very nice for being immediate dentures. I was actually kind of worried about that when they first said they were going to give me immediates. I'm like, oh, these are going to be terrible. I had no say in what they looked like. Nothing. The only thing I got to choose is the shade of whiteness. I was really concerned that they were going to look like chunks of Orbit gum attached into some plaster. I was really concerned about that, but when I walked in for my appointment, that was the biggest, like, part of my nerves was what the hell are my teeth gonna look like. But when I walked into the exam room, they were sitting right there on the table, and I don't think they're that bad. I've heard some horror stories about people's immediate dentures, and I've seen some pretty interesting looking immediate dentures. And just on YouTube alone, before I even made my appointment, I heard some less than favorable things about affordable dentures. But I'm glad I stuck with them, because I think I actually got a pretty decent set. And if my teeth look as good as they do now, I'm really excited to see my permanents. Which I might be getting in January, depending on if everything still goes according to plan. He says that everything is actually healing above speed. So instead of in March, I could be looking at permanents as early as January. Super excited. I mean, not that the teeth I have now are bad. They're not bad at all. But I do have some complaints about them. Because obviously they're called immediates for a reason, so they can do adjustments on them. And I'm sure I'll feel differently come Monday. But my biggest complaint is the size of the gums on top. I mean, holy shit. Those are huge. They are massive. From here, and it goes all the way up here. That is a really big gum line. And if I smile too big, you can definitely kind of tell. So when I do smile, I kind of have to maneuver my mouth just a little bit. I'm hoping come Monday it changes my tune on that a little bit, but if not, they're temporary. I'll be getting a brand new pearly side hopefully January. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really glad I decided to pay the extra money to get the next set up. Because on Monday, me being a naturally curious person I am, I saw a pair of dentures on the counter that had their bag on it. It was the economy, was what they call it, the economy ones. And they weren't great. They were very square. I mean, they weren't ugly by any means. They would serve their purpose. They don't look bad. But I just feel like me paying the extra $300 for the next package up gave my teeth a little bit more character to them. Like, there's more shape. And the biggest difference that I saw between mine and the economy ones was the bottoms. You see how mine are consistent in shape the entire way down, and then come the gum line? These ones, I had a really big top, but they kind of barreled inwards, which made it look like there was a huge gap between them. So the gum line was a lot bigger than what I have here, because the teeth are all more uniform as they meet the gum line. So I'm actually really excited that I decided to go with the next package up. And I think the next time I'm up for, because you do have to replace them every so often. I think my grandmother replaces hers like every 5-6 years, because they do wear out eventually. They don't look as nice, because go figure, they're fake. But I think next time I'm gonna shoot for the next package up again to see what more improvements we can make to them. Because the nice thing about this package that I got, compared to the economy one, when I get my permits, I get a wax try-in, which allows me to make minor changes to the teeth as far as like length and size and gum shape, the whole 9 yards. With the economy, you don't get that. What you get is what you get. So I'm really excited about that one. Again, you can kind of personalize your grill, so to speak. I asked him if I could get some gold teeth, and he just laughed at me and told me no. But I think that's about it. I also got a message about wanting to see my dentures up close outside my mouth. So I think that might be a next video. Maybe even tonight when I go to take my dentures out. And I also got a message asking about my cleaning methods. So maybe tonight when I take them out, I'll make a short video on cleaning them and what I do to clean them, as well as giving you a more up-close look as to what they look like outside my mouth. Because you can only see so much. But perhaps tonight, when I go to take them out for the evening, I'll get most of the nastiness out first before I start filming. And then I'll show you guys what I do as far as cleaning my dentures. So I guess stay tuned, and you guys have a great afternoon. And smiles.